Hi everyone, Janie here. Welcome back to my garden. It is the most beautiful day here today. It is 80 degrees, a little bit breezy, just so that I don't get too hot. It is just absolutely perfect. I've been out here kind of in the orchard garden in the front courtyard, weeding and cleaning up a little bit. I do want to do a little bit of planting. I'm doing my April blooming garden planting today, but I got to show you guys the garden. I mean, it is just that time of year. I already did a April front garden tour last week, and I feel like everything has changed since I showed you guys what the garden looked like last week. So let me just kind of show you around just for a little bit, just kind of some of the new things that are blooming. So I have to start over here and show you all the front zigzag planter. I don't want to get too close because there's actually two pairs of birds that are building nests right in front of my house. So if you can see this gutter right here, and you can kind of see some nesting material up there, they have been flying back and forth and working really hard there, making their nest. And then over here by my front door on this side, we actually have a light up there, and they're building a nest on top of that light. And so they've been working really hard. They've been flying back and forth. It's so cute. I'm not totally sure what type of birds they are. I want to say swallows because they have the little pointy tail that looks like that. The male does. I'm so not good at birds, identifying birds. I'd love to be a crazy bird lady, but right now I'm a crazy plant lady. I can identify hummingbirds. So anyway, they're really, really cute, and I don't want to bug them. I want them to keep doing their own thing. But one thing I did want to show you was the front zigzag planter, in particular the stratospheric pink Gara. It is starting to bloom, and I'm starting to get a little bit of height in here, which has been so beautiful. And the totem pole grasses are starting to grow as well. And then I do have my clematis over here. I'm trying to see, can you guys see the bird's nest? Let me zoom in. See that? Oh, it's so fun to see that. But I do have my clematis over here. This is Villa de Leon. I think I'm going to put the name on the screen. And this is my first bloom of the year, which is so great. But I have a whole bunch of buds all over it, which is so fun. It didn't do very well its first year. I think it needed to root in and everything. But right now you can see how big it's getting. And I'm going to have to start training it all the way up there because it is just getting it's just so exciting. It's going to be beautiful. Anyway, so coming back over this way, I wanted to show you guys the Super Beano whiteout underneath my espalier, my Star Jasmine espalier that is about to pop with blooms, which is going to be so fun. But I had this Morning Glory convolvulus under here that I wanted to take out, and I wanted to completely redo this area because I wasn't liking it. But then the Super Beano whiteout started coming into its own, and it's kind of taking over. It still looks a little messy for me, but I'm kind of leaning towards leaving it and letting the whiteout kind of take over. It might be fun just to have kind of like a mass of white blooms right here this year, and the whiteout is just doing so, I just can't believe it. Like if you look back on the espalier back here, it's all over here. It is just a fabulous, fabulous plant. I love it. So I had to show you that because that is going crazy. The black walnut tree, that's actually my neighbor's black walnut tree, it leafed out, and you can see what a difference it makes under here. I hate this black walnut tree, and I love this black walnut tree. I love the shade that it gives right over here in this area, and you can kind of see with my green man right there kind of what I was thinking by having it shaded right there. It's so beautiful, but then I also have so much trouble with planting things directly underneath this black walnut tree just because of the jugalone it secretes and everything. So, it's a love-hate relationship, but once it blooms out, or once it leaves out, I really do appreciate it. I do appreciate the foliage that it has. Then coming over here, I know this isn't a garden tour, but everything's changed since last week. Just last week, I did my front garden tour, and everything has changed, I feel like. The Cat's Pajamas Nepeta is starting to go crazy. It is so beautiful. It is such a beautiful blue color. And then if you can kind of see this area right here, this is kind of where I'm going to be working today. I have the Super Beano raspberry right here that's going crazy. I do have Meteor Shower Verbena that is about to pop with blooms. So I'm going to have purple blooms right there. Then I have the Purple Cat's Pajamas Nepeta Right behind that, I have the Pink Pearls Penstemon that is starting to go crazy as well. That is absolutely gorgeous. I have some Lemon Jade Sedum over here. And then I have this Dianthus. I cannot remember the name, something fuchsia. Oh, Paint the Town Fuchsia. That's what it is, Paint the Town Fuchsia. Anyway, it is just looking beautiful. Oh, one more thing, distraction. Here I have, look at this daffodil. Isn't that beautiful? I think it's called Watch Up. It's from colorblends.com. It's funny, I was cleaning up and I was using my blower and I think I got soil all in it and it's all dirty now. I was just looking at how beautiful it was and I should have showed you guys before I got my blower out, but that's okay. Anyway, isn't that beautiful? I didn't think I was going to get any more daffodils, but here they come. They're gorgeous. And those are right next to my ballet slippers hibiscus that is starting to wake up. And then you can see over here, I have more of the cat's pajamas nepeta that has bees all over it. And then even my ladybird sunglow calliophis is starting to bloom as well. So the garden is just, it's looking really good. It's really exciting. I was actually up in Oregon at Bauman's Garden Palooza this past weekend, and I was talking to a bunch of you that came and said hi, so thank you for stopping by. But I was talking to people about how I feel like last year, you know, the sleep, creep, leap, last year my garden was in the sleep stage. This year I feel like I'm in the creep stage, and I think next year is going to be absolute leap stage. Like it's going to be insane because this year is already looking so good. And I know that not all of these plants are in full swing yet. And it's really, really fun to see. So anyway, I digress. This is not a garden tour, but I just had to show you guys that because it's just looking so good. So let me show you what I am planning to plant today. So today I am planting my April blooming garden. And just as a quick recap, if you all don't know what I'm talking about, basically every month last February, a year from this past February, I started this practice where every month I went to the garden center and I picked out a plant that would be blooming at that particular time in my garden so that as next year came around, I would have something beautiful blooming every single month of the year. And the first year it worked so well, it was so beautiful, and now I am reaping the benefits of it because each month it's kind of going through and I'm seeing what I planted last year at the same time, and I'm really enjoying the blooms that I have. So right now we're mid-April and you can see these Osteospermum are looking absolutely gorgeous. It's kind of funny because I actually planted these as my March blooming garden thinking that they were going to bloom in March, but they didn't actually end up blooming until like full swing until April of this year. So I thought a really good thing would be to plant Osteospermum for my April blooming garden this year. So for my round 2 of African daisies for my blooming garden, round 1, I'll put the name on the screen of what those were over there. You can see I put them in a little bit more shade. If you can see, my neighbor's almond tree is shading them a little bit more. This year, I think I'm going to put them in more sun. I want to put them right over here in this area. But the Osteospermum that I got at the garden center just the other day are these Bright Lights Double Moon Glow African daisies. Aren't these just so beautiful? They have these buttery petals around these like lemon frills in the middle, which I just think is so much fun. And these are supposed to bloom all season long. I'm a little skeptical of that because we get so hot that African daisies tend to stop blooming during the summer for us, and they don't restart blooming until the fall, until it cools down a little bit. So I'm going to be watching these and seeing how they do. At my last house, I actually grew the Bright Lights Pink African daisies, and they were the best performing Osteospermum that I had in my garden. They were absolutely gorgeous. So I'm really excited that I found these at the garden center. I think they're absolutely stunning. They get about a foot tall and a foot wide, and I think where I want to plant them is this empty spot right here, right in front of the Lemon Jade Sedum. And so the reason why I'm saying that is because when I am in my kitchen and actually in the dining room, this is kind of the view that I see, and I can see I can see Monty's ball, but I can see the raspberry superbena, I can see the nepeta, and I can also see this empty spot right here. So I kept thinking, okay, I got to plant something right there, but then we have pink, purple, more pink penstemon, purple of the scaevola, pink of the dianthus, purple of the Spanish lavender right there. I needed a different color, whether it was orange or whether it was yellow. And I happened to have just bought those Osteospermum at the garden center. I couldn't help myself because they were beautiful. So I thought, okay, that's going to be perfect right there. So I'm definitely going to do that today. And then this probably caught your eye, as it did catch my eye at the garden center. This plant, I am obsessed with this plant. I have been thinking about this plant just nonstop and how gorgeous this color is. Okay, so this is a Mandevilla, and this is called Sun Parasol Giant Pink. Fold apart sun, fast growing vine, great in containers. The one drawback that I have for this one is it says it's only hardy to zone 10, and I am zone 9B. So technically this isn't going to be hardy for me. And I thought, oh, I can put it in a container, or maybe I can just protect it, right? And so when I was at Bauman's and I was at Garden Palooza, I was talking to a couple of you. In particular, I was talking to Shelly. Hi, Shelly. And she gave me the idea to put it on my gazebo and let it grow up my gazebo. And I don't know why I didn't think of that, but that is exactly what I'm going to do. So I think what I want to do is I want to grow it up this post right here. And so I'll plant it and then it'll grow all the way up that way. I think it gets 15 feet tall. Let me check the tag real quick. Yep, 15 feet tall. Is that not crazy? Oh my goodness. So 15 feet tall, blooms summer into fall, zones 10 through 11, hardy 30 to 4 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm really excited to see how this performs. And look at all these buds that are coming out. So I want to get that planted today too. I don't know how I'm going to train it up because obviously it's going to need something to hook onto it. I think I might put a little bit of twine. I kind of don't want to put any screws or nails into my new gazebo just yet. So I think I might just hook some twine, tie it onto that and then maybe put it down into the ground with a landscape staple or something like that. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Again, it might not be the final spot for this plant, right? The final resting spot. And we'll even see if it overwinters, but let's not worry about that right now. Let's just worry about getting this thing planted and getting it growing up something so that I can enjoy these blooms all season long. I just love this color. It is so gorgeous. All right, so I've got the Osteospermum and the Mandevilla in the ground. I actually went to the metal workshop and I grabbed some twine and this landscape staple so I can have something for the Mandevilla to grow up. But first, let me show you the double moon glow Osteospermum or African daisy because it's really beautiful and I kind of wish I got more. So you can see all 5 of them right there. Hopefully they will grow together and become one big mound. You can see that is kind of how I like planting in the garden. It's just big blocks of color, big blocks of pink, big blocks of purple, now some yellow. And I just think that it's so pretty. It reminds me of a painting, right? Like Monet painting or something. And so it just needed that color right there to contrast with the raspberry superbena and with the purple. And then, but right behind here, I have my orange Thunbergia that is about to go crazy. I can tell that it's about to start growing and grow up this tutor, and I bet you it will cover this tutor in no time. So there's a good pop of orange. I still would like some more orange, like lower growing annuals, like more ground cover or something like that, but I haven't really found anything that I love yet. I'm thinking maybe like orange lantana, if I can get my hands on some of that. I know Proven Winners has some marmalade. I think that that would be really pretty. Maybe in this blank spot that Monty sat in on my whirlwind blue scavola. I have been hoping that it's going to come back, and I am kind of losing hope at this point, but that is okay. So then you can see with the Mandevilla, I angled it, how I planted it. I angled it towards the post, and now I will put the twine hanging on the post so that the Mandevilla has something to grow up, because it won't attach. It's not the type of vining plant that will attach by itself. You have to have something for it to twine up, and you can kind of train it up. And so I will be training it up and hopefully around this post, and then depending on how much it grows, wouldn't it be beautiful if I could kind of bring it over to this post over here and kind of have this whole spot as a framed in with this beautiful Mandevilla. So let me put the twine on, and then I can get the other stakes out and we can really see what it's going to look like. Okay, so easy enough. I just took the twine, put it around here, put it on the landscape staple, right down into the root ball right there, and then the twine just gave something for these little tendrils to twirl up, and eventually it'll start twirling itself around the twine, and I think it's even going to start twining itself around this thing too. So I am just completely obsessed with this plant. I really, really hope it does well. I'm crossing my fingers for this plant because I would just love if I could have those beautiful blooms all over this gazebo. I will buy 20 of these if I need to. So everybody cross your fingers for this plant because it should be gorgeous. And then I'm hoping some of the strands will come kind of cover this area, and basically this whole area will be covered with the plant, and it'll start kind of twining around here. So it doesn't look like it's on a tight rope basically. So yeah, so we'll see how it goes. I think because it's getting hot, it's going to be really, really happy, and I think it'll grow pretty quickly. So what a gorgeous, beautiful day to be out in the garden. 80 degrees, a little bit breezy. I have this gorgeous shade from the gazebo to enjoy. I've actually been taking little breaks, coming out here, sitting in the shade, cooling down, and then going back to work. It's taking me a little bit longer, but I'm enjoying myself a little bit more. 80 degrees is not warm. Like, that is not warm for us, but it's the beginning of the year, so my body's getting acclimated as we get hotter and hotter, and I know I'm gonna have to start getting acclimated very soon. I was just checking the 10-day forecast, and the coldest day in the next 10 days is 72, and we're getting up to the mid 80s, maybe even high 80s. So it's coming. Warm weather is coming, but I'm ready for it. I'm excited for it. So make sure you guys leave what you're going to put in your April blooming gardens in the comments section down below. And don't forget to put your zones or your fellow zone mates. Get some good ideas of what to plant in their own gardens. I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.